Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another episode of Changing the Questions, the show where we take one single question and look at it very, very closely. My name is Paul Laporte, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Mike Miner.
I've got my magnifying glass out. I'm looking at it closely.
I guess I shouldn't say as always. I should say as most of the time, Mike Miner.
Most of the time, yes.
Well, anyways, the question that we are going to be discussing today, and it's actually a pretty poignant one considering we're just coming off of WrestleMania weekend, having we're just over a week past that and whatnot, is should celebrities feud with wrestlers?
All right, so you know what? Private Dick Mike James over here thinks that, well, yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, so before we actually get into the discussion, let's kind of give a little bit of history on it. Obviously, we had at WrestleMania we had Shaquille O'Neal in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
What a sight that was.
We have previously the past year Stephen Amell getting into a feud that seems to be still ongoing with Stardust.
It's kind of like, you know, they're stringing it along a bit, yeah.
And celebrities have kind of been involved in professional wrestling culture in one way or another, whether they be actors or athletes.
Drew Carey.
Since almost the beginning of professional wrestling itself, at least on a national level, the question is it a good idea? So you already kind of expressed your opinion on it. I'll let you go with it a little bit further.
Well, yeah, you know what? It's one of those things where it's kind of a polarizing subject, but if done right, yes, it's great. Like we were talking about, the Stephen Amell thing, I think, you know, was it done to perfection? No, but they're still having it go, and it's kind of bubbling under the surface. Maybe something else will come of it. The Shaq thing at WrestleMania, him going toe-to-toe against the Big Show, that was a sight. I mean, you can't even deny that. That was one great sight. I mean, look at Shaq and the Big Show staring off at each other, and everybody else is surrounding them. Like, look at these guys. Pete Rose. Look, come on, that was fun. Pete Rose getting just blasted by Kane, 3 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Good God. Speaking of good God, Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone. I'm not saying that set the world on fire, but look at how it came across. Karl Malone's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Say that he was trained by Diamond Dallas Page, show a couple of vignettes, go from there, and, you know, you got two guys that can go in the ring as partners. I absolutely refuse to acknowledge Jay Leno being trained, but I think you're going to touch upon that, possibly. I think I gave you an idea there. The rock and wrestling thing, Cyndi Lauper.
Very important.
Mr. T, I have to mention him. He looked like a legitimate badass. Back in his day, Mr. Rocky, you know, on the film, he crushed Rocky, and, you know, he's got all this momentum, Mr. A-Team. He looked like a legitimate tough guy. He had the gold chains around his neck, the mohawk. He had a snarl on his face. He was Hulk Hogan's training partner in Hulk Hogan's prime. It worked. This all worked on one level or another. I mean, it's pushed professional wrestling to the headlines each time it happened.
That's a fair point.
The Drew Carey thing, not so much.
Not so much, no. But he is a Hall of Famer.
It was a little blip. I mean, where's Regis?
That's true.
I
do think Regis should go in. But.
Well, yeah, I mean, hand in hand. Wrestling and celebrity goes hand in hand. So, yeah, you know what? I'll take that side.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. That's good. That's fine. That's fair.
But you know what? I could say, should they always go over a professional wrestler? No. Because these guys are trained in this art.
Shut up. No, don't shut up. You took your side.
No, I took my side. God damn it.
Stay on your side.
God damn it, I'm being realistic.
I'm going to be on the other side.
No, I'm not saying they should go over the wrestlers all the time.
I gave you your piece.
Wait.
Give me my talk.
Let me clarify.
Give me my time to talk.
Let me clarify. See, I'm taking it out of your mouth right now.
You are. Yes, you are.
I do have a point. You know, they are still getting involved. Should they go over? No. But it depends. It really depends. If it's an athlete and they're trained by the proper person, if they're trained by a former world champ, something has to rub off. It's just like an MMA fight. It's like an MMA fighter. You get trained by the right people, you're going to have more of a chance to succeed at what you do. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? I'm going to shoot it to you.
Okay. Celebrities...
Before I steal any more of your ideas.
Yeah, celebrities fighting professional wrestlers is stupid and I hate it. Okay. First of all, good points in terms of exposure. The Rock and Wrestling Connection, very, very important. As far as celebrities getting involved in professional wrestling culture, I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
What? Wait. Are you kidding me? You're taking my side.
No. Okay. The question is,
Jon Stewart,
should celebrities feud with wrestlers? I'm not saying celebrities shouldn't be involved in professional wrestling at all. I mean, look at some of the ways that they were, involved. Where if you're in the audience,
I just remember David Arquette. God damn it!
If you're in the audience and you're a fan, or you're somebody who is constantly promoting professional wrestling or something like that, that is something that is much, much different. In terms of actually getting in there and doing things with professional wrestlers, it way, way, way more often than not comes off as terrible, and it makes not just the person that celebrity is feuding with look bad, but wrestling as a whole look bad.
Do you remember back in the day, Ben Stiller, Jeff Jarrett, Deborah, all that shtick? Do you remember that? Yeah. I can see where you're coming from with this. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different thing. Like, if Snoop Dogg wants to sing Sasha Banks down to the ring for her entrance, that's awesome. That's perfect. That's the way celebrities should be used. If you want to have famous people doing concerts at Mania, the idea of wasting time, that's a different thing. But I can understand that. Or if you want to have, a celebrity do guest commentary for a match, or interview them about why they're here for a show or something like that. That stuff's all fine. But when you have something happen,
how do you feel about Raw guest stars?
Terrible.
Guest hosts.
No, I hate that. That I hate.
And you know what? To be fair, I hated it too. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the problem when celebrities get involved anywhere at any level beyond that. It's a fact of celebrities don't ever want to look bad ever. So they want to look like they're the ones getting the up on the guys who are trained professional wrestlers. I'll point back to Amel and Stardust. That I didn't like, but that was at least it seemed like Amel gave importance to this. He was actually working hard, and it was a tag match. He wasn't the only guy in there. He was in there with Neville.
And those Cody Rhodes, Stardust, and Amel, they have a good little back and forth.
Right.
I mean,
so,
those guys work out
I
each
still
other well.
that's on the low end of disapproval, but on the high end of disapproval is when you have a guy like fucking Flo Rida shoving Heath Slater against the wall like he's a fucking chump or some shit like that. Or, and you mentioned Karl Malone as the positive aspect of it, but here's the thing, is if you're, okay, so let's take, you said if a guy is trained by an MMA fighter, alright, let's take Michael Phelps. Okay, Michael Phelps, won 7,000 gold medals at the Olympics, one of the greatest legitimate athletes of all time. Is that an estimate? Yes, it's a rough estimate. Say he starts training with Georges St. Pierre. 3 months later, he is not able to take on a Fabricio Verdum in a competitive MMA fight. So that's where I don't like that. If there's a thing where it's we're doing something where one celebrity is wrestling against the other as a low card comedy thing, okay, fine, I guess. But the thing is that it's a thing of the emperor has no clothes, essentially. Well, and if you throw celebrities in there who aren't in that world and aren't trained and don't know what they're doing, and they're made to look as good or better as the people who've been doing this for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, it looks like a joke.
Okay, but you know what? There is supposed to be a suspension of belief in these kinds of things, but, look at back at, I think, WrestleMania 2. You have the Battle Royal with all the football players. Those guys are big, imposing men. Mm-hmm. I think they can stand their own. Okay. In opposition to
we're
some
talking
wrestlers.
about we're talking about suspension of disbelief. So let's go ahead and take an episode of we'll say the Flash. Or any sort of television show, or Arrow, or something, or Game of Thrones, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, we have these people who, this is a suspension of disbelief, this is a world where these are actors playing these characters and whatnot. What if all of a sudden, the Situation from the Jersey Shore shows up? He looks good, he looks great, but he can't fucking act. He's not an actor. So you're gonna sit at home, watch the show, and go, oh wow, this guy's terrible. Why did they even get him? Like, why did they, just so they could have the guy's name on the show?
Because
like,
of
this
his,
is stupid,
because
and it pulls
of
you
his,
right out of it.
Because of his looks, that's why.
Right, but
he has a good look to him, and that's what they do in professional wrestling.
But people suspend their disbelief when they're watching a program like that. But if some fucking donkey brain moron comes on like that who can't act his way out of a paper bag comes on, then that's going to not only lower your view of that person, it's going to lower your view of the whole show. Like, why is the Flash have this fucking moron on here?
But that's the problem with celebrities in wrestling, is that you got to pick the right ones. You got to get the ones that can actually go out there and look believable. You got, like I said,
but the thing is, looking believable is more than just looking like you can hurt somebody. It's actually being able to do the things that you're supposed to be able to do. And that is insanely difficult. And maybe there are a few people who, with 3 months of training, can make something passable.
Tiny Lister? Zeus?
Yeah. He wasn't even a celebrity. That's the thing.
Was he a wrestler or was he a celebrity?
We've seen
chicken or egg.
I think he was probably, would probably consider him a wrestler.
Yeah, but
like
I said, there's been celebrities that have been better wrestlers than that guy, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
I guess, but the thing is that you don't take a guy like that, give him 3 months of training in any other sport or whatever, no matter how athletic or impressive he is, and then run him against, like these are supposed to be the best wrestlers in the world on this programming, and you're just like running him into, you're running somebody who has no experience with this against them. And not only is it something where it makes everybody look bad, but it's also dangerous for these guys who are working against somebody who doesn't know what the fuck he or she is doing, and can potentially hurt them. I mean, if you're talking about something like, I'd say probably the best recent celebrity involvement where there was some actual contact and it wasn't just like a Snoop Dogg, Sasha Banks thing going on, is Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon from WrestleMania 31.
Yeah, it was believable.
Because it was like Stephanie McMahon hasn't been like a real wrestler in like a decade and a half. Almost.
Come on, she wasn't a real wrestler in the first place. She just
but she was a women's champion.
She was women's champion.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, she was never seen. It wasn't, Ronda Rousey wasn't tossing around Paige or Charlotte or Sasha Banks.
But she was tossing around Triple H.
She was, that's fine too. Like, I mean, like, that is like, she is like she's seen as a legitimate fighter, and like, even in the case of like guys like Floyd Mayweather, like, I didn't like that because Floyd Mayweather is a garbage human being, but like, people who have like combat backgrounds, I can see that a little bit more. But when it's a guy like a basketball player or even a football player or especially an actor, it just like, I just don't like it, and I feel like it just cheapens the whole art.
You know what? A lot of the time, you can look back at it and say, look, there was football players that have gone into the ring. They've gotten 3 months of training. They've gone into the ring. You know, I mean,
they've gone into the ring at the lowest end of. They're in NXT. They're in developmental.
I will give you that.
They're not, the second to last thing on a WrestleMania card.
Goldberg, though, I mean, you could say that he started
Goldberg
out low
had full training, though.
He had full training.
He went through a full wrestling school camp.
That's fine.
I mean, if Stephen Amell wants to, show up at the Performance Center and spend 6 months there before he goes into a program with Stardust, then fine. Like, I'm okay with that, but that's not what happens with celebrities. Celebrities are looking to promote themselves, so they go out there, they want to make themselves look good, so they do it at the expense of low-card guys who are the ones that bust their ass and work the hardest, and then they're gone, and they don't never get their heat back. Just one time.
But you know what? They say that it garners headlines, and to a point, I agree with that.
Yes, but those headlines are gone in a week, and what does it do? Like, I don't know.
It really depends who it is. Like I said, a David Arquette, God, that guy, he didn't even want to win the championship. He knew what that was going to do. But, like, there's people that have been around and have garnered headlines that brought attention to the product, and then it stayed around for a little while. But I will give you that it's not often. Sometimes it comes and goes. But like you said, it's tough. I mean,
like I said, celebrities getting involved in professional wrestling can be good. Actually fighting with professional wrestlers, I don't like it, and I don't think I ever will.
Well, yeah. I mean, to a point, I can see what you're saying, but I can agree with you on the whole thing with them not really getting involved. Like you said, Snoop Dogg coming out of the ring, And I, honestly, if we could book WrestleMania again, I would have had Ric Flair be on the outside in that match, Snoop Dogg come, pop Ric Flair, Sasha gets the win. You know what I mean?
Been okay.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Fine.
I could see that, interfering with a manager or something like that.
Would that not have made more sense for that WrestleMania moment?
Right.
You know what I mean? That would have been the perfect use of a celebrity.
Yeah, good
okay?
point.
That's
Good
what
point.
I mean. Stuff like that works.
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
That's what I mean.
Okay, all right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Changing the Questions. Please let us know what you think. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on iTunes, leave us a nice review and a 5-star rating. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that at Changing the Qs, which is at Changing the QS. And also be sure to check out our website, there's no ats in websites.
No, there's not.
www.changingtheqs.com, where you can catch all of our audio shows, our video shows, as well as articles all throughout the week. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook, which you can do just by searching for Changing the Questions. And if you want to send us a good old-fashioned email, do so at changingthequestions@gmail.com. Also, be sure to head on over to our website, and when you do, sign up for our newsletter, where you can get posts from all of the website activity throughout the day sent right to your inbox. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. My name is Paul Laporte. That's Mike Miner.
My dear Watson.
And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.